Hello everyone, welcome to Samiksha Academy. Let's read today's newspaper. Satellite dock in space, ISRO gets a boost for moon and beyond. As we already discussed this particular issue in detail in yesterday's video. Yesterday ISRO achieved one of the historic movement in terms of docking two spacecrafts. So thereby it will be helping ISRO to plan for its upcoming missions like Chandrayaan 4 and Bharatiya Antariksha Station, because for that docking is very much necessary. So in that context, we must understand it as an historic achievement. You can expect questions in both prelims and mains from this topic. In prelims, science and technology, and mains also with respect to recent ISRO initiatives in GS paper 3. Again, say this one. Saif Ali Khan seriously injured in knife attack by intruder at home. Try to understand this issue in the context of organized crime. We have a topic in GS paper 3 in internal security. Organized crime and terrorism. So in that context, how these crime and criminal activities do take place. So have a just get to know the headline. Why? Because in the recent past we have seen attacks happening in Mumbai, be it against Salman Khan or his close AD Siddiq, or right now against Saif Ali Khan. So just have a look at it. Justice Yadav writes to High Court, CJ stands by remarks did not violate code of conduct. So this you have to understand in the context of some remarks made by Justice Shankar Yadav of Allahabad High Court. And these remarks made by him were considered somewhat controversial in this context. The High Court asked him to give an explanation. So in that context, try to understand this. And this, I think, at one point made headlines with sensational information, especially after revealing some information about this Adani group, this Hindenburg. I think you know about this particular organization. The one yesterday they announced that they will be disbanding their organization. Their main argument was that, so whatever idea we like, whatever things we have with us, we completed that. So that's their point. Whatever may be, but what we should understand from this, the short selling. So how these people will try to, like, how they will be waiting for an opportunity. Then they will reveal some reports. If then immediately suddenly the market will collapse, then these people will purchase the shares. Then when the market value rises, they will sell it. So this is how the short selling works. Okay. So in that context, this particular organization is in use. So have a look at it. Again, this let us discuss a little because there is a continuation in the second page. Nearly two of 3 seats vacant. MTech enrollment drops to lowest in 7 years. So what can be the reason? See here. So it is just a continuation. Here just Lokpal, Chief Justice of India, Lokpal must coordinate with agencies to fight graft. I think you know about Lokpal, ombudsman that fights against corruption in the country. We came up with this with this particular institution with an act called as Lokpal Act in 2013. So you should understand it in the context of GS paper 2. See here. So this is about nearly 2 of 3 MTech students. So here I highlighted some points. You can just see what can be the reasons why they couldn't able to fill most of the seats in MTech colleges. So see here, most of the students, they are not finding much difference between the degree, the BTech degree they are holding and the MTech degree they are going to hold. It is not giving much salary difference to them. That is one of the major reason why most of the people are not opting for MTech courses. Second reason, mostly those who wants to come towards teaching profession only, they are opting for it. And next, in tier 2 and tier 3 towns, right, they are not finding like suitable value addition. Even there is a crunch of faculty also, specialized faculty required to to take up these particular courses as a faculty. So faculty crunch, students not feeling much of difference in their salaries, right? So see here they added one more point. Yeah, these tier 2 tier 3 towns, they are not giving like the kind of MTech courses they are offering, they are not much providing value to the industry. So if neither industry is benefiting nor student is benefiting, right, in that case who will be opting for it? So that's the dilemma. So that's the reasons they mention here why MTech seats are being vacant in the recent past. So that is about that. So this Hindenburg, I already explained that even it passed delegations against our SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India. So in that context, I just highlighted the malicious, mischievous, manipulative. These are the words used by Bush, the chairperson of SEBI, when allegations were passed even on her. Next, this is not much. Again, 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 it is just you can right. This is about the railway protection force. The with respect to role of women contingent, two women officers will be leading their contingent. So just a headline, the role being played by women in the forces, because earlier there used to be a lot of prejudices with respect to women in forces. So most of the stereotypes they are breaking now. Again say this one, say if for days, you can say for weeks, every day in one or the other way, this is coming as a headline, and Feb 17th as a date fixed by the judiciary to hear all the deliberations with respect to this Places of Worship Act. As you all know, this Places of Worship Act came in the year 1991. See here somewhere I highlighted. Yeah, the reason why this act came, 1991 means that time we have seen this churn of Babri Masjid conflict, Ram Janmabhoomi versus Babri Masjid conflict. So that time the act came up. The core point of this act is that post 15th 1947, right? See here, religious character of a place of worship would remain as it was on 15th August 1947. That means except Ram Janmabhoomi issue, for any other religious conflict, right, if it happens after 1947, 15th August 1947, then only it should be considered, but earlier things shouldn't be considered. Why? Because it unnecessarily hampers our secular nature of the constitution, right? That is the purpose for which this particular act was passed. Even while giving judgment on this Ayodhya case, that time also Supreme Court, it mentioned that, see here, the law, here I will be just underlining that the law embodied a constitutional commitment to equality to all religions, secularism, which is part of the basic structure of the constitution. So it upholded, but now people are filing cases. So for that, even Supreme Court also, it passed an order. It is mentioning that lower court should not take up any cases with respect to this kind of any kind of site destruction or finding out temple in that particular place, be it a masjid or church. So you shouldn't take any further orders till we give any further order. You shouldn't take any applications. Understood? So just tap the issue. This issue will be, it will be going on, right? We will be, every day it will be coming in the news. One day you will be coming to know in detail about this particular aspect. And this is most important, cabinet okay setting up of eighth pay commission. In the context of prelims, it is very much important. As you all know, for every 10 years, for a decade, after every decade, government will be coming up with a pay commission. Till now, we have 7 pay commissions. The last pay commission was headed by A.K. Mathur, Justice A.K. Mathur. Okay. Now, government is planning to establish. Why? Because the 7th pay commission tenure is going to be ended by 2025. So from 26 onwards, we need to have a new pay commission. So for that, deliberation started and cabinet okays for setting up of the 8th pay commission. So we have to wait and see who will be appointed as the chairperson. Understood that? But as of now, this is what we have to understand. See here I mentioned Justice Ashok Kumar Mathur. He was the chairperson of the 7th pay commission. Again, this is another important one. EC to political parties. Label all AI generated campaign material. So right now, in the age of social media, misinformation, disinformation, it goes like this. It's very easy to manipulate. So that's why when political parties, when they will be fighting for elections, when you are passing any comment, when you're using any video, if it is AI generated, when you're adding any other information, mention it so that people will come to know whether it is a real information or not. Understood that? So in that context, I feel this is important in the context of good governance, right? So in GS paper 2, when you're writing about the role of election commission, right, in the electoral politics of the country. So this particular information will be useful. Again, see here another one I highlighted. Few days back also we discussed about this visit of Singapore president to India. Okay, so we already discussed in that particular visit they apply because it's a 60 years of what you call relationship. 1965 Singapore became independent, right? So from then we are continuing the relationship. India was one of the first countries that time to recognize Singapore's independence. It is one of the ASEAN's largest partner, right? From where we are getting one of the largest in the foreign investments. Most of the foreign investment will be routing from Singapore, right? So in this context, you just have a look at it. There now India and Singapore planning for this data corridor between Singapore and Gift City in Gujarat. Okay, and they both launched this joint what you call logo, lotus of our national flower and orchid of their national flower, right? So this is about that. Next, from the past few days we are hearing about this. Congress shifted their new part, like they shifted their party office from Akbar Road to Kotla Road. As you know, the reason being why earlier BJP, now Congress, these people are shifting their political party headquarters to other places. The Supreme Court argued that near to the legislative arena, political party headquarters should not be there, so that it may impact unnecessarily. So you have to keep your party politics separate from the legislative arena of that particular Delhi region. So that's why earlier BJP shifted its office, now Congress also shifted its office. In that context, just have a look at it. This is just to highlight the reason being first woman, because in most of the religious things it will be mostly dominated by men. So when women also entering in that, we just have to look at it. So that's the reason I just highlighted that. Rest you can just glance through. Savitribai Phule University, a first transgender student from that particular university, she died, right? The reason can be many, but if this kind of incidents comes up, so we have to pay attention because it is one of the vulnerable communities in the country. Though lacks in population, but most of them are in vulnerable condition. So in that context, Chhattisgarh, 12 mobs gunned down. In the context of development aspect, you have to say this. Yeah. See why I highlighted this, though it is already a continuation issue. What is important thing is we have only one spaceport in the country, right, where we will be doing all our launches. Now government is planning for a third port in Sriharikota in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Here the thing is the only spaceport. This you have to understand. You may get questions in prelims in the context of a statement. There is only one spaceport in the country. If this kind of statement comes up, you have to understand it is true statement. Sometimes we think if a question comes only, maybe it might be wrong. Not necessary. Sometimes there can be only one thing, something like that. And second thing is this next generation launch vehicle, it is planning to launch from this particular new launching space from Sriharikota. So they named it as Surya. So in the context of space technology, just have a look at it. So earlier we used to have PSLV, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. Next we have GSLV. Next we have LVM. Now next one is the NGLV, next generational. It's very large. It's almost the size will be like almost like 30-story building. So with increasing payload capacity, now we need to launch larger satellites. Now we are planning for Bharat Antariksh Station. So for that we definitely need large launch vehicles and launch pads. So in that context you have to understand this. Again, see here I highlighted this point. NEET UG, what led centers to stick to pen and paper mode? You know, just a few months back we have seen this controversy regarding paper leak in NEET UG exam, one of the prestigious exam with respect to medical profession. So if this kind of leaks happens through online, we cannot take it. So that's why National Testing Agency, it is planning to stick to this traditional pen and paper mode. NTA will be conducting that. So that's why I just highlighted that. So rest you can just only glancing. This is about the rat hole mining in Assam, right? So miners got trapped and still we have issues there. Why now judicial probe? So to understand the gravity of the issue, right? What kind of mining happening there? Is it really legal or illegal? If it is legal, if this kind of risky thing happens, if people are dying, then it will be definitely a cause of concern, right? Not only for the families but also for the state. So that's the reason you have to tap this particular issue. Again, this is the reason I highlighted. We already discussed about this. The person KV Vinod Chandran from Ernakulam, right? Earlier worked as CJ of Bihar. Now he got elevated to Supreme Court, right? After his elevation, now Supreme Court became full bench of 34 members. Now the full strength of Supreme Court judges are 34. Next, it is about a few days back we discussed. There is a kind of rift going on between Siddharamaiah and Shivakumar, but once again they came up as a united thing, right? There is no difference among us. So we are here to strengthen Congress government in Karnataka. So just headline enough. So this one also today's see, just remember this. Remember this person Uday Bhaskar. He always used to write about maritime security. Right. So a few days back I said about Ashok Gulati. Ashok Gulati writes about agriculture. Raja Mohan writes about IR related things. Right. When it comes to internal security, we have MK Narayanan, he used to write. See, Uday Bhaskar writes on maritime security. Why you need to remember some of the personalities? Whenever you need, suppose for example, when you are preparing for mains, so that time you need to get some clarity on some of the recent issues. In that case, you might not be in a position to collect articles and read from internet, because if you read from internet, you will be getting some information. But if you want to know some specific at some point of time, so these kind of personalities will be helpful. So just try to remember him. He will be writing articles on this maritime security of the country. So just remember him. See here, was just one key point I highlighted: the budget of US around 900 billion US dollars, right? The budget of China, right? Like around 300 billion, 330 billion. The budget of India around 84 billion. So if you just observe, USAS, it's almost like into how many times? Almost like 9 to 10 times of India's budget. So just for a comparison, as yesterday we introduced 3 vessels to Indian Navy. So in that context, just have a look at it. See this one, the ISRO model, the latest success, docking of 2 satellites in space, underlines is example that must be learned from replicated. As we lot many times we discuss, when it comes to public institutions like ISRO, we should learn lot many lessons from it. It is one of the successful organization, right, that reached to such a level. Now it became a model not only for India but also for the world, for its efficiency. Understood that? So in that context, we must understand how agency should function. If there is a utmost professionalism, how an agency can function? It is because of ISRO now we are reaching to the new frontiers of science. So in that context, this particular editorial talked about it, right? If you maintain professionalism, where you can reach as an institution, not just as an individual. So for that, ISRO is a model. There is no doubt about it. Rest you can just glance it. Again, this is a continuous updation. This is important. See here, in a farewell speech, Biden targets tech industrial oligarchy, few powerful people ruling. See, in the recent past, we have seen these big companies, the FAMG companies, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft and Google, right? Among them now added this X, FAMG X hold earlier Twitter, presently holding by Elon Musk, right? See how these people spending money. Now, these people are the sponsors for elections. Now, who supported Trump? Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk, Facebook, Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos of Amazon, they all are attending his swearing in ceremony. What we can understand from this? So here, Biden draws parallels from like earlier Eisenhower. So during the time of Eisenhower, he said, now we have this military industrial complex. That means there is a deep involvement of military and the industry. If military involves into each and every step, understood, there will not be any kind of freedom. In the similar fashion, now if there is a tech industrial complex, that means if this tech companies controlling each and every information, then how, like what is real, what is like what is right, what is wrong, what is truth, what is not. Understood that? So they may decide. So that's why the word tech industrial complex. So I feel in this context it is important. So that's why I highlighted. So earlier the Eisenhower's words, that time Eisenhower himself, he just said in the coming future we may see this kind of tech industrial complex. That's what we are seeing now. So up to what extent it is correct? Up to what extent these powerful individuals, right? If they are they are taking control of this technology, right? What may happen? So that's what this particular article is all about. Rest, if anyone likes him, he's really, it's very, remember his name. Okay. So again, see here, interest equalization scheme. It is especially to boost exports, especially from the MSME sectors. You don't believe, when it comes to exports, major chunk of the export contribution actually comes from the MSMEs, micro, small and medium enterprises. Close to 45% of exports come from them. When it comes to employment from the industry, also most of the employment comes from the MSME sector. MSME, that's why, is the backbone of industry. Understood? So in this context, now earlier we have this scheme. Now they want to continue the same scheme. What this interest equalization scheme? If any exporter wants to get the credit, first they will be getting credit from the bank, right? Whatever, but if the bank rate is, if the interest rate is high, government will give some kind of subsidy. It is a kind of equalization. So they will be getting the loan at a concessional rate. So the remaining concession will be given by the government. So for that, government used to allocate certain amount of time. For said, it will be setting some criteria for the exporters who should avail. But now the criticism against this scheme was that mostly the non-MSME people are using this scheme. So that's why government is planning for some kind of revisions. So in that context, I just highlighted. So just get that much idea. And this is important. Auto Expo 2025. It's not just about showcasing of the cars. It is about how this sector is going to perform. Because automobile sector, it is one of the growth engines of manufacturing sector. Directly and the whole economy indirectly. So in this context, one is about automobile industry. Second one, the interesting point here is the Chinese factor. Why I highlighted one point here. China currently holding highest number of intellectual property rights in the EV sector. Recently, its manufacturing company BYD, it crossed Tesla in terms of selling of number of electric cars. Chinese electric vehicle policy. It is literally highly successful. Understood. So that's why in that context, now though earlier we have issues with China, now we are inviting Chinese companies. Why? Because we just want to know how long we can keep them as our enemies. Let us see, like how they are operating, like how they are coming up with the technologies. Mobile companies like MI, Xiaomi, now they are into the car manufacturing. Just imagine how these people are leapfrogging, right? So that is about it. This is a good thing. New QS Future Skills Report ranks India second in job market. So in the job market readiness means people are ready to get a job. Understood that? That means having sufficient skills. So getting those skills, especially with the coming up of this internet, especially platforms like YouTube, helping lot many people to get skills on their own. Next, this is just a headline. This we already discussed yesterday in detail. Anyone wants to see, just go and watch that video. This is for further smoothening the travel experience of Indian travelers who are either going abroad or coming to India. Right now, this particular one, what you call this as fast track immigration, right? If you register under this portal, you can directly visit the airport. There will be some kind of seamless flow. You can just scan your passport and visa. You will be with less shakes. You can enter the airport. So for that purpose, they came up with this. Right now, it is available only for Indians and OCA card holders, as we discussed in one of the classes. So who are OCA card holders? They were earlier Indians, but now they are not Indians. Right now, for these people, government is providing this facility under the Bureau of Immigration. If you just register, like we have this Digi Yatra, if you register under it, directly you can go to the check-in counter. There, with less verifications, you can enter inside the airport. So that is about it. Okay, this is unpacking Israel-Hamas deal. Just glance it. This is again important. 150 years of IMD. Okay. Mission Mausam. So under this mission Mausam, now the main agenda here is to further provide quality data with respect to predicting the weather forecasting. So the main agenda they mentioned here towards going for the zero error forecasting. See, earlier there used to be a lot of criticism with respect to IMD data. There used to be a lot of jokes about it, but right now, because of the integration of the satellite technology and following these dynamic models, in most number of cases IMD's predictions, right, are becoming accurate, and they further want to go for this zero error predictions. So in that context, because of the 150 years of IMD, we just need to understand this. We may expect questions in prelims, so have a look at it. Next, next is about sports. Okay, you can just glance through this. Just glancing. That's it for the day, right? Thank you.